Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dugout Podcast. I'm Andrew, joined alongside my fellow co-host Marissa, and we're back on an evening where Arsenal have recorded an immense win in Champions League. No, don't worry, Marissa, we're not going to start there.
I mean, why would you?
We are not going to start because the benefit of recording right after big European nights is that you can touch. With it. I don't want. I mean,
you already went there, so we may as well delve right in.
All right. Viewers, Marissa was a little bit upset, as you could tell. She's not elated for our fellow Premier League, compadres, or if you want to call them that, comrades. So Marissa,
yes.
Arsenal, big win, 3-0 against Real Madrid at the Emirates Stadium, man.
Yes.
Declan Rice. I saw DeMar had in his status, bend it like Declan. So, already copyright infringement has started.
I saw somebody tweet that too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I'm upset is because it's Arsenal. I can't root for Arsenal because I want them to win Champions League. But, as I said, on the bright side, it does help me as a Chelsea fan because it now guarantees that English sides will have that extra spot in Champions League. So that makes my chances of qualifying for the Champions League next season much better. So I'm happy from that perspective. But honestly, as I like to say, gotta give Jackie jacket. Arsenal deserved the win. I felt the first half was very tight and even, fine margins. Mm-hmm. But honestly, those two free kicks from Declan Rice were superb. The first one was excellent, but the second one, wow. Like, honestly, when I say stepping up for the second one, I was like, surely not. And I think that was the first time somebody had scored from a direct free kick twice in a single Champions League game, right? I think I saw that stat somewhere.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was amazing. Honestly, I can't hate on it. And I saw they added a third. But yeah, I thought they were full value for the win. As I said, I thought that Madrid, they weren't bad in the first half, but second half, I just don't know what happened. But Arsenal really deserved the win, and kudos to them.
Fair enough. So we don't differ much in terms of opinion. I thought the game was nicely poised after the first half. I felt that I differ a little bit because I thought Arsenal shitted the first half in terms of territory and getting decent positions before the final touch being the goal. Real Madrid did carry a counter-attacking threat, and they did have their moments where they're threatened. But I felt Arsenal definitely looked the more progressive side. I felt watching the game, and I said to the person I was watching the game with, that I felt that Arsenal needed to raise the tempo a bit and really get after Madrid. And that's what they did in the second half. I felt as though, and that's what really took the game away from Real Madrid. The fact that Real Madrid's midfield couldn't necessarily cope with the Arsenal press and pressure and movement. To me, Camavinga and Modric like to slow the game down a bit. And before that thing, and that's interesting because that's how the injuries affected Real Madrid as opposed to affecting Arsenal. I was expecting Arsenal without the certain front players, for example, and maybe without Gabriel at the back to be a bit vulnerable. But it was on the other side where Real Madrid had a reshuffle with Valverde at right back and Camavinga and Modric in midfield together as opposed to Valverde in there or Tchouameni in there. It seemed like it took away a bit of Real Madrid's presence and physicality, resilience. Like you said, 2 goals from Declan Rice, outstanding strikes. And that's the thing, because I felt that even though Arsenal were on top, at the end of the day, it still takes 2 world-class strikes to get you in front.
I couldn't necessarily say a goal was coming.
Correct.
That's
yeah. The first one was good, and then the second one was even better.
Yeah.
The goal that I think Real Madrid would be most disappointed with is the third goal, which I think was avoidable. But Eduardo, that's his first name, right? Camavinga decided that he could ball watch instead of close down Marino and left it to Rudiger to do. And Rudiger had too far to get to the ball, and good finish from Marino. But like you said, Arsenal were full value for their win. Do I see them coming back? Do you see them coming back?
No.
You think it's done?
I think it's done.
You said before we came on here that, or before we started record, that would be a better way of playing it. You said that it would take a monumental collapse from Arsenal. If Real Madrid come back, right, I actually don't think it would be a collapse from Arsenal. I actually think it will be more monumental effort from the Real Madrid starting line. So Mbappe, Vinicius, who were really anonymous in that second half, they would need to step up big time. But again, I tend to agree with you as well in terms of it being over. I remember the last time the team was 3-0 up after the first leg. The team that was defeated, I would say, played quite well. They all deserve to be 3-0 behind. But this cannot be said about Real Madrid, you know. But we'll see next week, Wednesday. I'm on vacation, as you also are bemoaning. She's also upset about that. I don't know why. They think as my friend should be happy for me.
I never said I was upset you're on vacation. I said I would let a vacation all know too.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we got here, she said, "Oh, you look like you're on vacation." I said, "Yeah, I am." She goes, "Must be nice. If Danny hate it for you, nah, nobody happy for you." But anyhow, just saying. Sorry to put you on Front Street. But yeah.
You just remember what you want to remember, you know.
What did they forget? What did they miss?
I'm just saying that you remember that conversation verbatim very well. You just can't remember certain things.
Anyhow,
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, so we both agreed at Arsenal.
Yeah.
We'll get through the semis. All right, so
one job,
our next topic.
Yeah. So, I found it interesting you mentioned Real Madrid had to make some reshuffles at right back.
Piss off. I can tell you, piss off.
I just found it very interesting. So it kind of leads nicely into our next segment, which is has some interesting news. One confirmed, one strongly, highly rumored. De Bruyne has put out a statement that he will be leaving City at the end of the season. And last week, I think it was, news broke that, or week before,
Week before.
Week before, news broke that it seems that Trent is on the verge of signing for Madrid. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
As far as I know, right, nothing has been signed yet. So
that's what I say. It's rumored.
But when you play it for as like a foregone conclusion, this guy's gonna go to Bernabeu. How do I feel about it? So I mean, it's been coming, I guess. But you were like, honestly, I remember when this saga first started, I was optimistic that he would stay because he's a Liverpoolian and stuff like that. You had a difference of opinion. You always felt that he was the most likely to go. I guess you had your reasons for that. It seems as if, you know, as the season has progressed, that has built. I'm not the typical Liverpool fan, so I'm not going to call him a Judas. I don't even feel like he's a Judas, to be honest. I don't think he's a traitor. I don't think he's a Judas. I don't feel aggrieved because, you know, if he leaves in this fashion, Liverpool won't receive a transfer fee. I'm not, because at the end of the day, the fact that the contract was not renewed, both parties will have some sort of, you know, responsibility in that, because did Liverpool make an offer in sufficient time? What were the negotiating process like? I mentioned before a couple of weeks ago that Liverpool did have some reshuffling in the boardroom, which, you know, didn't necessarily help contract discussions and stuff like that along. So that being said, I don't think he's a Judas. My reaction to it though, where I think if Liverpool fans want to feel disappointed, where they should feel disappointed, and here's why. This is the only angle that for me any disappointment comes. Besides the fact that him leaving is going to weaken the team and it's going to, you know, have to find somebody to supplement the loss of him. There have been Liverpool players who've left for the Spanish Giants before. Suarez left for Barcelona, Mascherano went to Barca as well, Xabi Alonso went to Real Madrid, Michael Owen went to Real Madrid, Matt Manaman left on a free and went to Real Madrid as well. You know who Matt Manaman is, right? Yeah, just make sure. Alright, so
only because his voice always from BT.
I met as a player from the player's perspective, okay. But I know that he went. Yeah, he was
Liverpool, and then went to Madrid. Yeah.
Yes. The reason, even Torres going to Chelsea, for example, the reason that I think Trent is a little bit unique and different is because where those players left, Liverpool were a big club, but it was like Liverpool were not a big team. So Liverpool's capacity to compete with the Real Madrid and Barcelona's for the top honors, or even domestically,
right,
was far-fetched, right? So it was clear that, you know, if those players want to win something big consistently, you know, can't fault them for wanting to move on because Liverpool were not ready at different points when those guys left to challenge. Trent has found himself in time span, a period of history where Liverpool have actually resurfaced amongst the conversation, usually when we talk about contenders for big honors. So that's where, to me, disappointment would be, in that it's not a case where he can't argue, well, yeah, if you go to Real Madrid, you're definitely going to win. But it's not a case where he can't argue, well, my ambition can't be fulfilled at Liverpool. No, there's not a guarantee, because Liverpool, domestically, there's a lot of competition with City and Chelsea and Arsenal, for example. But, Liverpool are actually a part of the conversation. Liverpool are no longer a team where, the conversation is just about top four and whether you can secure a Champions League qualification. Most seasons are not. There are a team that are being tipped or to be thereabouts when it comes to winning a league or maybe going far in the Champions League. So, yeah, that's the only disappointment. It's not like Liverpool struggling right now.
But did you hear the rumor that Real Madrid was working on this for 2 years?
Yeah. And that's not a surprise. Most definitely.
Right. So don't you think that that's part of where Liverpool fans' anger comes from? Because it seems as if
he knew for a while that this was a possibility, and he didn't inform the club.
Yeah, and was coming out saying things like he won't be Liverpool captain and all that jazz. And so I'm just wondering, because they're trying to look at the other angle too, because you made some really good points. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, he's not the first, and he won't be the last.
Right.
And if that's where he feels that he can grow best as a footballer, that's his choice. Mm-hmm. I don't think that. And I think the key point you made is, it's not his fault that he ain't signed a contract. They've been negotiating for a while. So
correct.
There's fault at Liverpool senior executive level as well. But I just wonder if, from the fans' perspective, when that part of the rumor came out, if it felt like maybe they were not played, but, that he was always planning to leave for a while.
Interesting to it. I don't necessarily know if I agree or if I would take it from that angle. Mm-hmm. And here's why, so Real Madrid would have probably sent out contacts, 2 years ago or what's not. 2 years ago would have kind of corresponded, that was last year January. But yeah.
2 years ago would have been when y'all and City were the season that Winner was fighting for the title. Mm-hmm. That season where Winner barely made top four.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or they probably missed out on it. Yeah.
That was when Winner barely made it. When I had a really great run, made top four that season. Yeah, Winner made top four in 2023. Yes. So Winner was in Europa League last year. Okay.
That we missed out. Is a memorable season. That is a memorable season because we beat Man United 7-0 at Anfield, but we missed out on the Champions League spots. All right. Right.
Okay.
Right. And then the next season, that's last year this time January is when Klopp announced that he's leaving, and later there was a lot of upheaval. So really and truly, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards would have inherited the situation where you have three big players out of contract at the same time. But that doesn't excuse Liverpool Football Club because handling the business.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody could argue that. I don't know if to say that Trent play the club is the right way to look at it, because Trent entitled to want what's best for his career. So like I said, Liverpool are competitive, but they're not guaranteed that Liverpool will win. I think Liverpool are a good side. I don't think as presently constructed they're a great side. So they're not, because if you look at the Champions League over the last decade, Real Madrid has won about 7 or 8 of them, right? That's not Liverpool. City have won 4 league titles straight. Liverpool aren't there yet, right? But they're good enough side that they'll be there in the conversation.
Right.
Most seasons if things go right. So he, it's like, do I risk staying at Liverpool? Because as much as I'll be commended for being part of the great title races under Klopp, for example, I didn't necessarily win. Ultimately, it's about winning. What's the bottom line?
Understood.
Did I? So I fully understand. Where he's not wrong. He's an interesting age, 25, 26, I believe. Where I'm not gonna fault him for keeping his options open.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So.
No, I was just giving that perspective in terms of why fans may feel agree, but I also think a lot of football fans overreact.
Seeing Trent though, just from the outside watching, seeing Trent seems like the type of person who is thinking about legacy. Right now, He's won everything that he can, every trophy available at Liverpool that he can win. The only, if you want to show a little salt on the wounds, the only thing is that he hasn't won those trophies multiple times. No, the subsequent next additional Premier League title that he's going to get this season will help, in terms of trophy haul. But
title race done already?
I believe so. I think you believe so too. But his resume at Liverpool is not going to be like Kevin De Bruyne's at City's, where it's been successful, but it's not been like dominate that period. I think it's about legacy, and I think how Trent is seeing it is like, okay, I played for my boyhood club Liverpool. Yes, I want to be captain, but he's technically captain. He's vice captain, and he's technically captain inside on occasion. So it's not like he's not officially permanent captain, but it's not like he's never captained the team before.
Right.
What's that? You know what I mean? Like, I think his idea is like, okay, I could be one of the few English players, because there are not many, who've gone to Real Madrid and succeeded. I've been a part of a winning team, and that's going to be legacy. Like, I played for Liverpool, I played for Real Madrid. He remember he gave an interview last year where he said that he worked his ambitions to win the Ballon d'Or, right? And people start like, Real Madrid are the club that, I guess, money's selling points for Real Madrid, the new players, is that supposedly this is the club that you could definitely achieve that ambition or that goal. The interesting thing is, do you see Trent winning the Ballon d'Or even if he joined Real Madrid? Neither me, because like at the end of the day, you're joining a team with Bellingham, Vinicius, and Mbappe. You have to have a hell of a season. To, as well as you might get top 3. You know what I mean? You might be in the top, whatever the case would be, but to actually surpass them in that voting, when in fit, I'm not sure it's feasible playing that right back.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But he believes what he believes.
And if you win there, is how much credit you really? I always ask myself like, it's like almost like when, kind of okay. I don't know if you watch basketball, but like the whole narrative at the time was Durant left OKC and joined Warriors and made him unbeatable. But it's like it's like people will recognize or acknowledge that he was the best player in the team, but at the same time, it's like, these were defending champions anyway. You didn't. The win technically is almost like a double-edged sword. The win because of you, but at the same time, the winning before you get there. So how much credit you really get?
It's true. Yeah.
Could be similar with Trent too. Like you had to win, but like they were winning before they won Champions League before you get there. I don't know. But he would go on though.
Yeah, he would. What about De Bruyne though? I think this one was less of a surprise to me, at least. I think for me, right, he was on the wall when he came out from injury, and he wasn't really getting played much. Especially when City were struggling in games and stuff. I just felt like it was. Yes, I know. But I just felt this one was a little bit more inevitable, but I still found myself a little bit surprised that. I guess I feel like, okay, the contract situations at Liverpool have been more played out in media than this one, in my opinion. So I guess maybe because after every interview, reporters asking Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent and Slot about it.
Right. But
I don't feel like it was the De Bruyne situation was as played out. So I was gonna say, I haven't heard anything that maybe they offered him a year or anything. It just feels like they were a bit almost kind of happy to let him go. So I don't know. What do you think?
So like, I think the reason that wasn't so played out as the ones at Liverpool is because I don't think the expectancy at the start of the season, I don't think that would have been that De Bruyne would have gone. I think eventually they would have probably assumed that he would have renewed the contract or they would have made an offer. But I think how this came about is because the alarm at which the performances of the side have declined and his performance would have dipped as well. I think that's basically kind of what convinced the City group, Pep included, that maybe a rebuild was necessary, as opposed to give him an extension or whatnot. So I think that's all that was. I think if it was up, and I think it's more the club decision, not his. Because I think that if it was up to him,
think so too.
He might resign for another year and just try to play another season in Europe.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, I think he's still a good player. I still think he has something to offer. I just think he's been unlucky with injuries of late, and that coincidence. As great as you may be, if you're in a team that's struggling for form and fitness and all the different things happening, you're not going to let yourself either.
Yeah, it's true. But ultimately too, who do you think is best placed to cope? Because Trent has been a big player for Liverpool over the years. We know De Bruyne is in Power City. So these are big players that are leaving big clubs. So who do you think is better placed to cope?
I think both of them will cope eventually long term. I think City got more money, so City better place. I think they can't buy when they feel it.
Who's a bigger loss then?
Who's a bigger loss? That's an interesting question. Because De Bruyne is one of the all-time great Premier League midfielders. Trent is a fullback, yes, but Trent is integral to the whole Liverpool play. And we saw that in the Carabao Cup final and different games that he missed, where it kind of restricted what Liverpool could do offensively. But who's a bigger loss? That's kind of difficult for me to say. But I would say De Bruyne, just on the fact De Bruyne is a midfielder.
Okay, fair enough.
What about you?
I think De Bruyne too. I've always felt Trent has been replaceable. I told you that I felt the fella Bradley is a good up-and-coming youngster, and I believe his name will be talked about in a couple of years. Because I think he's not Trent level yet, but I think he can get there. Especially, to me, he's a better defender.
Right.
And I think offensively his game will improve because he's very young. So,
all right. So I'll end it with this caveat. You're not wrong. Actually, I mean, because Bradley's name has been being spoken about from since last season when Klopp first introduced him in his side. But so I agree with you. He's better than Trent defensively. I guess he's a bit more defensively solid, but he's a different type of fullback. He's more of an orthodox fullback. Trent's attacking output is really about his passing range and his passing vision.
yeah.
If you watch Bradley's he has good attacking intent, but he's different. He misses a lot of like inside lane runs and stuff like that, right? Powerful runs and timing of runs. Again, he boxes, but he's not. We're Liverpool going to miss with Trent if you replace him with Bradley, which is probably the likely thing that will happen at least at the start. Is that like you said, Bradley's offensive game might improve, but Bradley's never going to be the offensive passer. The passing ability that Trent has. I don't see it, at least.
Okay. I don't see it right now either.
I don't see it ever.
And that's fair. That is fair.
I don't think he's ever going to be that passer that Trent is.
But I think, I don't know. I think y'all will miss Trent less than City will miss De Bruyne eventually. At least next season.
Okay, it's possible because even this season, because Trent's position at Liverpool, or his way in which Liverpool play, or his position, it's kind of different when you compare Klopp to Slot, because with Klopp, Trent was a lot more advanced to me. With Slot he more like supports the attack as opposed to joins the attack from the off. So he's more of an orthodox fullback in terms of positional ways to me. Okay. I don't see as much as of him going to midfield like you did on the Klopp either to get on the ball and stuff like that. So I mean it's different, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. All right. So, as I alluded to at the start of the show, Arsenal's thumping of Real Madrid ensures that 5th place will get Champions League. So teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, City and Villa, who I think are the 4 teams duking out for those 4 and 5 spots, will be happy to hear that. So last time we talked about it briefly. We're not going to go into it too much, but I just want your quick thoughts on what the table looks like now. Because Forest have 57 points.
Right. Chelsea
are 4 behind, 53, along with Newcastle, but Newcastle have a game in hand. City are 6th with 52, and Villa 7th with 51. So what do you think?
Very tight.
Very, very tight.
When you say what you think, you mean who you think will make it, if my opinion has changed?
Yeah, because I ain't convinced Forest can drop the points.
Oh, sorry, you're not convinced that Forest will drop out?
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
I don't think they ever predicted Forest to drop out, did they?
I don't think they did.
But I'm just saying. Forest will stay.
I'm just saying. No, I think you had Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and Chelsea as your top 4. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, last time we talked, what is it? That was my top 4.
Last time we talked about top 4, which wasn't last show, but maybe the show before that.
Okay, all right. I'll take your word for it. Like you said, I only remember certain things. So.
So as I said, I ain't convinced Forest can drop out this top four. I keep waiting for them to drop points. I mean, I know they lost.
They lost against Villa,
on
right?
Sunday, but jeez, I feel like every time I wait for Forest to drop points, they just don't. So yeah, I just think there's those 4 teams duking it out for 2 spots. No,
I mean, I think what we could do next show, I believe it'll still be tight. Perhaps what we could do is that we can look at the fixture list of each of the teams
and
that are
then
contending.
go into it in depth.
Yeah, we have a better idea of who will make this here and who will not. But well, I'll tell you too that I know it'd be top 5 for sure is Liverpool and Arsenal. But yeah, I think Forest will stay in. So that's 3. And this is in no particular order, obviously. But so Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest. I got Forest in. I think Chelsea will stay in, and who's Newcastle's game in hand against?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm look at your matches quick. Palace at home.
Okay. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna reserve my prediction
Till you see these.
till I assess these fixtures.
Chelsea definitely has the hardest fixture list. I could tell you that because I know who we still got to play. I know we still got to play you. We still got to play United. We still got to play. No, we done with Arsenal and Spurs.
You just said you still got to play United.
Yeah, at Stamford Bridge. United has played better against better sides. We've seen this. So I still gotta play you. I still gotta play United. I think I still have to play Newcastle too, you know. So I think we have the toughest fixtures from what I can recall. But like you said, next show we'll go through the list fixture by fixture, we do our research, and then we'll come more informed.
Okay.
The hopium tells me that Chelsea will make it.
The what?
The hope.
That's what you said, is no?
Hopium.
Oh, that's the word? How you creating words?
I hear that word people talk about
the
hopium.
English vernacular.
Never heard hopium before? Okay.
I've never heard hopium.
Go home and Google it in Urban Dictionary. You see it. All right.
Urban Dictionary. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. Wait. So when you hear words and slang, you don't see what it means in Urban Dictionary?
Young girl, move on.
Okay. Got me feeling crazy. Anyway, so let's touch a bit on some Premier League predictions. I know we missed last week. It's just fine. I don't think they had any real standout games anyways. At least from a result standpoint. You know, Chelsea beating Spurs is standard. Manchester Derby was quite drab. So we do some predictions for the next couple of weeks. And let's see how this shapes up. So I want you to pull up the the fixtures so I could document. Our next show is likely to be the day after Easter Monday. So whatever fixtures between now and the 22nd.
Alright. So starting with this Saturday. Early kickoff, City at home to Palace.
Routine. No, Palace have been decent.
Palace have been good form of late.
Yeah, so let me not say a routine win. Haaland out for the rest of the season?
I think so. Or at least close. Maybe I think he returns just before the Club World Cup.
Should pick Club World Cup. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with 2-2.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Mateo de Gabris.
I'll try Eze goal in there, man.
Okay. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go with a 2-1 City win.
Okay.
Following that, late kickoff on Saturday, we have Arsenal at home to Brentford. Arsenal riding high on this wave of a Madrid win. Mikel Arteta.
Arsenal still ain't really scoring in the league, you know. Unless the new tactic is Saka come inside and somebody trippy and that don't take the forget.
You never know. Maybe they stumble upon something.
Maybe. Saka was good today, by the way, too.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire Arsenal team was good.
Yeah. I'm just amazed that, you know, he has had such a charade, but he's had such a long layoff, and he just seemed to have just hit the ground running again, which is usually it takes a player time to get up to speed, but yeah, he was good. I think Arsenal win 2-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-0 Arsenal.
I think that's safe. That might be a 3-pointer there for you, because there's still is scoring in the league, really.
All right, so next Sunday morning early. We have 3 games at the same time. So the first of those
early.
are Chelsea. Well, 9 o'clock Belgian time.
Oh, okay.
So these are Chelsea against Ipswich.
At home?
Yeah.
All right. I think Chelsea will win. I think we'll win 3-1.
I am going to go for 2-1 Chelsea win. Followed by Liverpool at home to West Ham.
When did they get relegated?
Who's that?
Ipswich and...
No, Southampton has been relegated.
I know, because Ipswich, and the other team... Who's the other team in behind? Leicester.
Leicester, yes.
They're like 10 points... They're like 10 or 12 points adrift. Feels like they should be relegated by now.
Right. Right, so with 7 games left, Ipswich are 12 points from safety. And Leicester are 15 points from safety. I think Leicester are already down. I think Ipswich are already down too.
Yeah, I think they're down, but I mean when it be official.
Confirmation. I have no idea. Can't help with that.
Okay. So Chelsea versus Ipswich at 9.
Yeah. Then Liverpool versus West Ham at 9. I think Liverpool bounce back from their film defeat. I think they'll win this game 3-1.
By the way, I don't think I would have sat here and predicted Fulham would have beat you.
I would have predicted a draw.
Maybe.
But Fulham had already beaten Liverpool. Liverpool beat themselves. And Robertson, he BS, Frank Cross, and Kanate. Don't tell me Kanate.
Who tell me start this?
Yeah. Stinking Kanate. He running back towards goal. The ball to come in across. We try and focus on heading the ball clear. He tried to tell Curtis Jones where to stand up. Man.
Well, the ball was in the air coming in.
Correct. When the ball's and then he turn around. You know, he's in bad positions. He barely get off the ground. Get a little nudge up there. He won't complain for a free kick. And then Virgil. Now Virgil van Dijk, I realized that he all of a sudden he ain't real weak. Cause all of a sudden, man, the battle for maybe I know Munez that's played for Fulham, just nudging you off the ball ever so easily. But man, I think I got the audacity, big strapping brute like he got the audacity to come in for free kick. But man, try and be a bit more robust.
I've changed my mind, by the way. Remember I told you I don't think all 3 will leave? I think all 3 will leave.
Nah, no all 3. Virgil will stay. At least one will stay. I actually think 2 will stay. I think Virgil saw that anyway.
Oh, I guess we see.
We did see comments from Virgil yesterday.
What he said?
He said that progress has been made. And that he optimistic that he said progress, yeah. But I never thought Virgil would leave because I think Virgil happy to be Liverpool captain. I think he actually enjoy the club. I don't think Salah and the reason I don't think Salah would have left either is that I think Salah recognized that Liverpool's still a competitive team. I don't think Salah necessarily ready to leave Europe yet.
Fair.
So that those are the reasons that I think that no, they couldn't have left because if the club decide that they're not going to renew or they can't find a common ground on the desire for the contract or what's not, then it'd be a departure. But I always felt that both players, their first option would be to stay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Well, my prediction is I think it ain't matter. I'll go with 3-1 Liverpool.
As well? Okay.
Oh, you went 3-1 too?
Yeah, I said 3-1, yeah.
Oh, I don't recall.
What you thought I said?
I didn't remember you saying anything.
I said 3-1.
Okay.
I think I started by saying Liverpool bounce back from that. They feel 3-1 win. Okay. All right, so next game, same time, 9 o'clock. You could decide which one you're watching.
I'll be at church. Well,
Wolves at home to Tottenham.
Why would I watch any of these games other than Chelsea?
I was just being facetious.
Wolves at home to Tottenham?
Yeah.
Again with a 2-2 draw.
I actually going with a 2-1 Wolves win.
I was gonna go a Wolves win too, but I think
and
Spurs are so Spursy.
The late game on Sunday, Newcastle at home to Man United.
You know what I realize about life, and this is the situation that I hate that Chelsea has put me in. Whenever I want a team that I don't like to do something for me, there's never do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's never do it. Like, United had one job on Sunday. One job. Couldn't even do that.
What was that? The beat City?
Yeah.
You got a point.
0 would have been better for City. I would love, again, I love when Man United lose, but I really need them to do me some favors. But I can't see them again for this game. I think Newcastle will win 2-0.
Okay. I also think Newcastle will win 2-0 as well. So I'll also share that
United
prediction.
do something for me, though. I'll greatly appreciate it.
Alright. Okay. Aston Villa and Newcastle play each other on the 19th. Next Saturday. So if you want to predict that, since it's a tasty fixture.
The 19th? That ain't Good Friday. No, the 18th is Good Friday.
Right. 19th of April. Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's an important fixture for me.
So we can predict that then. So Villa at home to Newcastle.
I would like a draw.
So that's you're going to give me a score though?
I would like a draw. Anytime you give me a draw. Who's at home, you said?
Villa.
I actually consider this being a 2-2.
Okay. I'm going to go for 2-1 Villa win. That helps you.
That's it.
Somewhat. Alright, Sunday, April 20th. So
You say a 2-1 Villa win?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Against Newcastle.
Make sure you get your predictions right so you don't get accused of things later.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right, we all know you use dastardly tactics. But anyhow, early Sunday morning, 20th of April.
Hey, so that's the only good game on Saturday?
I missed. Sorry, my apologies. Everton at home to Man City. Everton at home to Man City. Or actually, right? Man City, yes, because Man City in them certain way, I
I understand.
gloss over the fact they had a game on Saturday.
You know what? I game last few games at Goodison. Everton to win 1-0.
I'll go for 1-1 draw. Everton at City 1-1.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine too, but I can't really hope.
Got such a big lead, you just gambling now. All right, yeah, that's fine, man.
Now, most of my predictions, if you notice, are predictions of hope.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Fulham at home to Chelsea on the 20th of April.
And just like that, the hope is dead.
So Fulham, show the people that you're not just a one weekend wonder. I am going to go for I'm going to go for a 2-1 Fulham win against Chelsea.
I agree.
You agree?
I do.
Okay. Followed by Ipswich at home to Arsenal. Same time.
You're going too fast for me to document these
Sorry, I
things.
apologize.
1-0 Everton. You went 2-1 Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went, because I just put new scorelines, but I'm putting. You went 2-1 Wolves for that game. And you went 1-0. That's Arsenal. That was obvious. All right, cool. We good to go.
Good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Ipswich Arsenal. Ipswich at home to Arsenal.
Arsenal win 2-0.
Okay.
Ipswich should be relegated by now.
Okay. All right. I'm also going to predict a Arsenal win against Ipswich. I'm going to go for 2-0 as well.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Also, same time. That Sunday, Man United at home to Wolves. Want me to go first?
Sure.
I'm going to predict a sheesh. And I really don't know what to predict for this game. But I said that Man United will lose to Newcastle, right? So
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to go for a 1-0 United win against Wolves.
I go 2-1 Wolves.
That's a bad show. Alright, late game on that Sunday is Leicester at home to Liverpool.
It should be relegated by now too. Liverpool to win 3-1.
Okay. I'm going to go Liverpool to win 3-0.
Every game. Oh yeah, Leicester is
Leicester
scoring. 10 consecutive games. Why did I say 3-1?
I'm not sure. Alright, so
Vardy do me saying here.
Monday, another big game. This interests you.
What a big game I got Monday?
21st of April. We have
Easter Monday?
Yeah. Tottenham at home to Nottingham Forest.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it interests you in top 4.
I know, but again, you will want Spurs to do something, but I believe that Forest will win this game.
Interesting.
Forest to win 2-1.
Okay. I'm going to predict a Forest win 1-0. Alright, on Tuesday.
These games coming very thick and fast.
Yeah. So, what I'll do is that I will stop, because there's a game on Tuesday and there's also a game on Wednesday. So, I'll stop at the Wednesday and then when we come back, because Ricardi.
No problem.
Again. So, Tuesday, City at home to Aston Villa. Big 6-pointer.
Oh my gosh.
Big 6-pointer.
Oh my gosh, these games are going to be the death of me.
Hey, my turn to go first though. But
Go ahead.
I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
Same.
Alright,
That's
and
it?
the last game of this round, on Wednesday, 23rd of April, will be Arsenal at home to Crystal Palace.
Tell you what's going to get. Arsenal got very much easy fixtures lately.
I know. You must wish that lead he thought was a bit
tell
close
you.
enough.
Arsenal to win 2-1. Predicting very much Arsenal wins lately.
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Not a bad shout.
Alright. We'll leave it there for now, and we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors.
Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci sea salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health. And we're back.
Yes, and we're back. And we're back with a pretty forgotten topic.
I am crying.
But we're back with some cricket. The West Indies. Marissa, tell us what's been happening lately, man.
Well, some big changes. We all know Sammy was coming into the test job this month, I think. But some shocking captaincy change. Well, yeah, I would say shocking. Craig isn't shocking. I expected Craig to want to step down for a while, and it turns out he did. I think early on in Pakistan tour, when we lost the first game, he wanted to step down. I think that's what was said. But he was convinced to stay on, and then we won the next test match. So Craig steps down as test captain. Not a shock for me. He's been in the job for a while. There've been question marks. Not necessarily over him as captain, because really and truly you really got nobody else, but mostly in terms of form. So I think
Selection, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that stepping away from the captaincy is the right thing for him to do right now to probably regain some of his batting form. So that wasn't shocking. What was shocking to me was seeing Rob Mapao removed as the T20 skipper.
Yes.
Because I didn't really see you do much wrong.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
Yeah, and I think Cricinfo put up a stat that he took us from 9th in the rankings to 3rd. And I thought West Indies played well under his captaincy. So it was a surprise to me. I did see a tweet from the Caribbean Cricket Podcast that kind of put it into perspective, but we'll get into that shortly. So now Hope is the
T20 captain.
So he's both our ODI and T20 captain. So the Test captain has yet to be announced, and not to jump too far ahead, but I would just really make Shea all format captain. But I know there are issues to that, which we'll get into shortly.
Right. I don't expect that to happen because, you know, I think in the morning game, not many countries seem to have more captaining across all 3 formats. So that's my initial.
True.
Yeah, initial reaction to it. And then, like you said, there are issues to that in terms of, I'm assuming, availability to play a certain series and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm not sure. I haven't watched. I'm sorry. I think we did watch a little bit of the West Indies game series against Pakistan. We did talk about that slightly, but I'm not all the way familiar with the contenders for our Test berth.
I have no idea.
So I can't really, because I think there's no obvious candidate for the captaincy.
Nope.
I do understand Shea does intend to play in the home series against Australia coming up.
Oh, we heard that.
My cousin. Not a reliable source, but my cousin.
Just get me all excited for no reason.
He watches cricket and he said that he believes that's what believes that's what will happen. Based on the fact that Shea might not be taking part in some franchise cricket, something like that.
But
or he's made himself available for some domestic tournament, maybe for the competition. Not sure.
But that's my problem too. I think Shea being all format makes sense because he's the obvious leader right now in the West Indies. But the problem is he plays in leagues like the PSL and the Bangladesh Premier League now, which those leagues don't have a designated window, and they likely clash with Test series.
Right.
So that's that. So that's why you really gotta see if that's something Shea want to do, because if he becomes all format captain, he has to commit to playing all formats.
But here's the thing. I know you said Shea is the obvious leader. And I don't think he's the obvious leader. Here's my thing. I don't think he's the obvious leader. And I'm not trying to throw any shit, but I don't think there's necessarily like an outstanding captain in the West Indies cricket right now.
Okay.
Like I say, for example, he's an obvious leader. I'm not saying he's a bad captain or a bad leader, but I'm not sure he's like such an overwhelming favorite. I think usually what makes him or what will make certain players the favorite for leadership roles is whether or not they're the best team in the team, best player in the team. I think that's what Shea is right now. Shea is clearly our best batsman,
right,
across all 3 formats potentially. So I think that more than anything else, because I think how the West Indies cricket board should approach it, and I always felt that they should approach their captaincy appointments is pick your best 11 and then pick a captain from that best 11, because the captain has to be someone who's assured.
I agree.
Guarantee who warrants his place.
Agreed.
So we definitely shouldn't have a situation where that has been creeping out of late. How long can we persist with Craig at the top of the order because he's not getting runs? And that happened in Sammy. Sammy was a player. Happened when Darren Ganga was a captain at one point when he was a player as well. We've had different stints with captains who people weren't necessarily sure should even be in the starting 11 or they make up our best 11.
Right.
So I think what you do first and foremost, pick a squad, pick your best 11, and who you think is going to play 9 times out of 10. That is undroppable. Once he's not a psycho out here, he will be a captain.
I agree, and that's the problem with, I think, there's no front runner in my mind, but the next in line was Joshua De Silva.
Yes.
He was the vice captain.
I heard he got a drop for
But
Pakistan.
he got a draw, exactly.
I didn't even realize he got a drop.
Yeah, he did.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. I remember thinking about the wrong series. There wasn't a series where, I'm more sure it was the same. We won a game and some boy scored 100. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
he
that was
scored
against
100.
England, yeah. But
Oh, the
his
same.
form,
Okay, so I'm mistaken the series.
Right, but his
cool.
form has not been great. And to be fair, I think he's been misused. I think he often bats a little too low,
Right.
and then he usually bats with the tail.
Right.
Which
correct.
isn't always fair.
Right.
But I think obviously he's the next candidate, but it doesn't make sense because he just got dropped. I don't think you should make him test captain because then he got to come back and he hasn't really. I don't think he had a bad regional tournament, but still, it's like you said, we can't just be picking the captain and then shoehorning them into the side. It has to be the other way around.
Because all right, so here's the thing: is he our best? I know he lost his place because he batting form, right, and not necessarily wicket-keeping ability.
Right.
But is he our best wicket-keeper batsman? Who's the person that replaced him in the Pakistan series as the keeper?
Is it Imlak?
I think
Or
my cousin called
somebody?
him Black. Yeah. But I think that's the name my cousin called.
Or was it Django?
My cousin called some boy with a funny name. Sorry.
Maybe it was Imlak.
All right. But yeah, my cousin, you met him before. He plays more tension cricket than I do for the most part. So he's the person that I was like, you sure the 7 player? But I got the series mixed up, I guess. I was thinking I know the man score 100 sometime recently. Oh, you get a drop. You know, score 100. So I got the series wrong. But yes, but if the Silva is alright, so it's lost of form, yes. But if he's still regarded as our best wicketkeeper batsman in the Test format, then I don't see any reason you can't bring him back in the squad and just make him captain.
Yeah, but then you can drop somebody for what? Just because the man got to be captain?
Not because he got captain, but if you're saying that he has sufficiently regained his form, because you said he didn't have a bad regional tournament.
Yeah, but I know how good it was.
Fair enough, but I'm saying if he has sufficiently regained his batting form in the regional game, where he warrants selection, it's the same thing. You're picking your best 15, and if he has you just make him captain.
If he makes the squad, fair. But only if he makes the squad on merit.
But I'm assuming that the guy who replaced him, that was only one series, 2 games.
Exactly.
I don't think that's enough body of evidence to suggest that the guy has completely commanded his place in team either.
But he ain't come out and drop neither. My point is, it is difficult. Oh no, not after that.
Just because you can't straight.
Not after that outburst. Come on, after that would look so bad.
Listen, science got to put a man. Science got to hold people accountable. I put a man in place. You're joking.
But he's another candidate too. But I think after that fiasco, that's not going to happen. Too soon. So my thing is that. And this is my problem with the best is if I'm looking at our best 11, which I don't even know what our best 11 is, I don't know who they pick.
Okay, so if it's not going to be Shea, and we both don't think it will be because that would require Shea to say it up front, but I can make myself available for all
everything
best in this series, which is a lot. So if it's not going to be Shea, there's a name that keeps on popping up in our middle order. Rutherford, that's his name.
Sure, Finn Rutherford?
What about him?
He don't play Test cricket?
Oh, my bad then. You sure he don't play? Okay,
yeah,
I agree with you.
But there's some...
There's another batsman that was playing with him.
Let me look at our last...
Yeah, look at our
last Test squad.
Yeah, great. Let
me look at our last Test squad.
Where you looking at
West
from?
Indies I can just Google West Indies versus Pakistan second Test and see if a scorecard come up. Alright, a scorecard come up on Google. Alright, so we had Brathwaite, Michael Louis, Django, Hodge, Athenaeus, Graves, Imlat, St. Clair, Moti, Roach, Warwick. Like, looking at that side, the only body, I think, Athenaeus captains either the Leeward or the Windward Islands. But he's so young in his Test career, I don't think I would give it to him. But looking at that side, Andrew, I cannot tell you. I can't tell you who I would pick.
Okay, right. So we had, like you said, we had Warwick, Roach, Moti, Sinclair, and that. This beekeeper guy, right?
Yeah.
Really second innings. Oh, Lord.
I just don't know.
It might matter if I'm not. Man, listen. He ain't come out. Well, we named Alcanes, right?
Alcanes.
My bad. But maybe he's the guy that was looking for.
I think he was the guy that probably picked.
Yeah.
I rate him a lot.
Yes.
He has been very inconsistent, but the talent is there, as with most of our players. He captains either the Windward or the Leeward or the Windward Islands. Not sure which one.
But I have a question.
You
know how you were saying that Rutherford doesn't play Test cricket? Is that like a thing? Like, know that we got a new series coming up. He can't get picked.
He never played Test cricket before. He
never played before.
He's playing all the franchise leagues. IPL, BPL, CPL, PSL.
Who's Louis?
That's the opening battle that no, he is not bad, but I don't think he's a captain material.
Who Django?
That's the fella that scored 100 on debut in 1 days.
Listen, you might go out do like what South Africa do a couple years ago with Grace Smith.
That's what.
And just pick a young batsman
And
or
that's
young
what
somebody.
they were saying that they would do with Alec Athens.
Right.
My only issue with that is he's still struggling to find himself at Test cricket level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pressure him too much, but to me, it's either him or De Silva.
Yeah.
But I don't envy them.
I feel it be the Silver.
So let me touch briefly on the T20 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, initially, like I said, I had questions, and I still have questions because I don't think Powell has done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But then Caribbean Cricket Podcast tweeted something that made me kind of think it may be more along what you are saying in terms of West Indies are looking at what their best 11 looks like and choosing a captain based on that. So this is what they said. West Indies' current top 8 is Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Nicholas Pooran, Rovman Powell, Sherfane Rutherford, Roston Chase, Andrew Russell, and Romario Shepherd. He's saying that Shea Hope has to be in the side, and then because of that, Rovman Powell is the obvious person to miss out. Mm-hmm. So from their perspective, they're saying because Shea is one of our better batters and has to fit in that top 8. When you look at everybody else, you're not going to drop Pooran, you're not going to drop Rutherford because Rutherford has been playing excellently over the last year. Roston Chase, we know the job that he does with bat and ball. Andrew Russell is Andrew Russell, and then Romario Shepherd is that kind of all-round type. So, as a batter, Rovman Powell is the obvious candidate. So, I think that maybe they're thinking what you're thinking. Shea Hope has to be in our T20 side, and we need to pick a captain from our best 11.
You know why, Smiley?
Why?
I remember a couple of years ago, I can't remember exactly when. Remember I said to you that Shea should be playing T20 cricket too, and you was like, oh, Shea's bat so slow. I think that Shea's one batsman.
He has improved though.
But from then, he was one of those batsmen that to me, almost similar to Shannon Paul, when I want I said it right, I can't say it right. So I was never this, but yeah, it's interesting though that he got to be inside. Just saying, give me my flowers, man.
Anyways,
right.
But that's my thing. If obviously that's their opinion, we don't know if that's what the West Indies Cricket Board thinking. Mm-hmm. But if that's the only logical reason why they will remove Rovman, because what they're saying is, if Rovman is likely to sit out to get Shea in the side,
yes,
then obviously he can't be captain.
Right.
So maybe it's that. So it'll be interesting to see in our next T20 series if Rovman plays. Because then if Rovman plays, it'll look a bit weird.
Okay.
But basically it all comes down to this. If that's what they're doing with the T20 side, in terms of picking our best 11, they have to do it with the test side. Mm-hmm. Pick the squad of 15, pick your 11, and choose your captain from that. We can't have another Sammy situation. Because poor Sammy was a good lad. Good lad. But there were questions every time Sammy didn't take a wicket, every time Sammy failed with the bat. Is his purpose only flipping the coin? We don't want to put that pressure on somebody else. So, yeah, that's my take.
Fair enough. I have nothing to add.
Okay.
I mean, you said it all. We'll see what it shakes out.
We will. Never a dull moment in West Indies cricket.
I have one more question
before
we wrap up quick. Do you see substantial improvement or gradual improvement, any sort of improvement you see coming with this Sammy in charge of all 3 formats moving forward? Australia at home, big series. I definitely will be at some of those games. Hopefully.
The only West Indies needs to find a way to get their best players playing Test cricket. Mm-hmm. When I look at that batting lineup that we just called up from Pakistan, it's not our best lineup that we can.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
So, Sammy's effect can only be seen depending on the players you pick. If he's working with the same crop of players, I fear we can see the same. And that's no shade on them. I know they go there and they try, but come on, players like Shea Hope, Hetmeyer, Pooran. Those guys are a level above these ones. So for me, if we could find a way to make a compromise with our players, look, we know they got money galore out there, you know, and I remember when it was just a West Indies thing, but New Zealand just had a series against Pakistan, which they won, but most of their best players were playing the IPL because that's where the money is. So if we could find a way to compromise with our guys and you know, just find a way to get them to play some first-class cricket, some Test cricket, then maybe we see improvement. But if you're working with the same couple players, it can be the same.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to Good place to leave it.
Just a few things though. Obviously you mentioned the Australia series coming up. I think tomorrow West Indies women start their qualifying tournament for the World Cup, this year's World Cup. They're in a bid to become one of 2 teams that qualify. You know, the men have been here, so the women... It's only right the women follow the path of the men, right? I'm just kidding. Don't follow the path of the men. So yeah, they lost their last warm-up game, which isn't good, but I think they're playing Pakistan, Bangladesh, Scotland, Ireland, and somebody else. But I think the girls will be confident. I think DeAndre Dalton is out through injury, so that'll be tough, but hopefully the girls can make it. Then on a less football and cricket related note, Carifta is coming up. Just gotta make a shout out to our athletes. I think we're taking our largest contingent of athletes, 52, that we've ever taken to a Carifta Games, which is very good. 12 of them from Commonwealth, apparently.
Of course.
They got a few 8C people in there too.
Who cares? Keep going. Let me not stop you.
Yeah, so we just want to shout them out. Our next show, I will just let you know. I know you're on the agenda for next show, but I'll just slip in a little thing where I just want to shout out the athletes that do well. So I'm sure you won't mind, especially if they come from Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But go ahead.
Okay.
Go to you.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Besides mentioning, I actually almost forgot. I mentioned my mind and I forgot. My bad. But I do want to shout out the Commonwealth on the 16 football team that won the knockout competition. I was there at the game. I have about 4 players on the team from my class.
Big win too, 6-1.
Yeah. Wash the floor, Lodge, man.
Lodge scored first.
Yeah,
so I see a Lodge man scoring with some backflip.
Lodge scored in 6
6-1?
minutes. I think Commonwealth started the game a bit nervously, but once it settled, it's clear that Commonwealth are the better footballing team. But I have about 4 students from my class on the team. So
that's nice.
You know, I didn't talk to them beforehand, or I would have called the names, but I'm not going to do that to them. So, but yeah, they know who they are. Well done. I was really, really proud.
I can't say well done to any common mirror on this show. Only when they represent Barbados.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you. You've been mentioning partner. You've been Harrison College too. God seems early, you know, calmer, hitting when it hurt. I don't understand why.
It's a rivalry though. It has been that way from the time we were going to school.
Has it?
Yes, college versus Commonwealth has always been a rivalry.
For y'all, not for
But
me.
I forget.
It can't be rivalry.
You only been there
I don't care.
So
I don't
yeah.
care. Listen. Listen. First, right? That's an old adage that doesn't make any sense. If you went to school, if you went to the institution for a day, like put it this way, if you were a teacher for a week, you've still been a teacher, haven't you?
I don't hear you begging on Aline on this show.
Well, I don't. The thing is, right? I haven't worked at Aline. I've worked
But you went to school there for 5 years.
Actually, I enjoy my time at Commonwealth a bit more. Actually, I've always said that. So.
Okay.
But Aline still taught me nice things. Aline's not CB. I still have 2 friends from Aline. Most of my friends are Commonwealth. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, the sad thing is I have more common mirrors in my life than HC people, which is sad for me. Somebody came in pharmacy today and asked me if I went to the motorcade. I was like, why would I go to the motorcade? Oh, I thought you went to that school. I was like, why you bring that shame on my name? Anyways.
Something wrong with y'all.
My father and my uncle went common mirror. I have nothing but respect for them. Common mirror on the other hand.
Your father's an Arsenal fan, so I don't know.
He's not.
He's part of
Listen to me. Don't get twisted.
He's a baba.
He is not an Arsenal fan. He liked how Arsenal played football in the past when Henry used to play.
That's still bad enough.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, we done?
I don't want that ever since, but you bring this Harrison College Commonwealth by reading. Like it actually has this. Well, wait, Harrison won 7 and you'd be second. Wait, okay.
Second.
In what? In both? Wait, no,
Boys.
not both. Boys, okay.
We're neck and neck.
So I clap for you, but so I clap for you, but
we're neck and neck.
You see,
it went down to the last couple events.
Anyhow, so I clap for you.
I clap for you too. And something else nothing to do with Commonwealth.
You just said a moment ago you could not congratulate Commonwealth on this show unless it got something to do with Carifta.
Well done under 16 Commonwealth football team.
That's more like it. Well done for F. That we talking about. You can't end the show though.
Anyways, thank you for joining us on another episode of the Dugout Podcast. Chaotic as usual. I just don't know who's baby problem. But anyways. Yes, so follow us on the Dugout_podcast. Follow me, Marissa Simone91.
Drew 9106.
Yes, and Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Our subscribers are slowly creeping up on YouTube, I see. Yeah. That's good.
I saw we got one more. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
what I mean by slowly
So
creeping up. Yeah.
fair enough.
So, so join us again next time.